Hello everybody and welcome to the final Dream Team Tonic episode of the year. We finally got here after a bit of a delay from Sunday. With me as usual, two co-hosts. Ben, you there, Ben?
How we doing?
All good, mate. Are you there, James?
I'm here, mate.
Good to have you both with us. It's been a while since we've had a chat, seeing as Sunday got cancelled at short notice. But we'll jump straight in with huge congratulations to a former podcast guest, Andrew Ferguson, with a great win. He's a top chap and very, very happy. I think from all three of us, I think it's a big well done to Andrew Ferguson. Him and his family enjoy that money, enjoy that title, because he deserves it.
Yeah.
Top player. What did he win by? 13 points there. It's nothing over the course of the season.
That's a Havertz, isn't it? 13
points.
It
is. It's a Havertz sneaking a star man from somewhere, isn't it?
Yeah.
The difference between 75 grand and the rest. And yeah, but it was good to have him on, obviously, a few weeks earlier and pick his brains and for him to tell us how he was feeling. If you've not listened to that Fergie special, go back. It's still there on a YouTube channel. You can have a listen to it a few weeks before he did win the whole thing. Think about how he was thinking about things. Obviously, Dream Team notoriously slow with certain things. The app is an absolute pissing nightmare. Most of the time, it's still been a shit for me for Euros. It's still not sorted, and all you get told is uninstall and reinstall. That'll sort it out for your chaps, won't it? But when you're there waiting on the answer of have I won 75 grand? How long do you want to sit and wait for that answer?
Unbelievable.
It was annoying for us having to wait to delay the pod, but I don't envy Fergie's 24. Well, what was it? Half a day he had to wait, didn't he? Or something like that.
Absolutely shocking.
Yeah.
Say trying to plan your things. Have I won? Have I not? Not knowing who that guy put in. Did he sneak Havertz in? Yeah, God. I wouldn't have liked to be in his shoes anyway. I would now. Now knowing you've won, it's not as stressful. But yeah, Dream Team with their slope dates. They knew how close that was at the top of that league, and one more game remaining. Wait, what's going on? Like the game wasn't even active.
They went on holiday, didn't they?
It's bizarre. Well, yeah, the admin must have gone on his holiday or something. It's not the first time something like this has happened. It probably won't be the last.
That's true. That's true. I think it's probably a third or fourth bit of a rant about how they've dealt with the game and that over the season. There's been a few incidents, haven't they? But all solved now, and Fergie wins. Thank God for that.
Yeah, fantastic.
Yeah, nice one, Fergie. Fair play, mate. We're looking to get him back on for a pre-season shout before the next season. Pick his brains, how he's going to run into the next year, how he's going to set his teams up, and we'll have a big special on that. Be good to speak to him again and congratulate him in person. He's obviously a little bit busy for us at the minute on this Wednesday evening. He's probably working out how to spend that money, but don't blame him. So fair play. Right, onto how our teams did. So we'll jump in with you, James, and how you believe your team has done over the season.
Well, I finished in 649th place, about 75 places lower than last year. My target was to actually beat last year's finish. Didn't quite happen at the end of the day. The Champions League final was a bit of a damp squib for me. I thought City would finally get their hands on that Champions League trophy, and my team reflected that. I had 4 City and only 2 Chelsea. Only got 10 points on that last game week with 5 from Mendy, 5 from Aspilicueta, and absolutely 0 from my City players. So, bit of a damp squib annoyance for me there. I thought I was hoping it'd be a better game. On the bright side, though, I did have a good finish in the Dream Team Tonic League, and that's packed with some top players, as we know.
Yeah.
Really enjoyed the banter on the pod and the Twitter about the Dream Team Tonic League, and that's what makes it fun for me.
Yeah.
I'd just like to thank everyone who joined that league because, it's been fun, and I hope we can all resume our rivalries next year. I'm coming for you, Fergie.
Yeah, it was good, and obviously we were only say 6 or 7 months old at the time, and we were completely new when we started the league. It was good to have a lot of the big players, a lot of the big hitters in the Dream Team scene join the league, and I think that just pushed it a little bit. Like you say, it's good to pit your wits against some top players in that league.
There are,
And,
yeah.
and there's no embarrassment for finish all the way up and down, first to 27th or whatever it was. There's some very, very good players. So, yeah, fair play to everyone for jumping in. Appreciate that. Getting on to my team, I think I join you in that, James. A bit of a damp squib, and I kind of expected City to win. I think we spoke about it just before the game, and I thought it's City's year. My team was always set up Chelsea for the last probably 6, 7, 8 game weeks.
Yeah.
I was always on the Chelsea train. It's something that probably dragged me as high in that league, in the Dream Team Tonic League, as possible. Just never quite, the attacking side of it just never quite got going. If my faith in Werner and a couple of others, if that had paid off, I'd have probably finished a little bit higher, but all ifs and buts. And the last couple of weeks, rather than I didn't want to put eggs in the baskets of that Champions League final. I just weren't too sure. I didn't think much of it. I didn't think it'd be high scoring, so I went Liverpool. So I ended up with Salah and Mane up top. Didn't do much last game for me, but Robertson and Alexander-Arnold did the best for the last few game weeks for me. Probably pushed me up as high as they possibly could. From the final, I got 19 points, predominantly from Mendy, Aspilicueta, who got the clean sheet but not the 7 ratings. Rudiger, clean sheet but no 7 rating, yellow card. And Mason Mount got the assist with just a 3-pointer on top of that. So, yeah, there weren't many points to play for in the last game. I think a lot of I think we spoke about that, didn't we? About, are we going to go all eggs in baskets for that last game, or why not just attack one of the Premier League games that are before we finish? So I think Fergie finished on 10 points as well and ended up winning it. I don't think it were one of the games to attack, but yeah, where it finished, I've not caught the actual overall finish. I finished 11th in the Dream Team Tonic League, which I just quite missed out. I just couldn't quite get there. Run out of time. I was gaining fast, but my top team. Obviously, James, you only play one team, so your final position, is always impressive. You play one team and you can get that high. It's very, very good. Because again, my teams, probably all 10 of them struggled with a slow start. Maybe a couple did all right early doors, but the one that did finish up near the top at 1900, which is, I think it were up at the highest position, it were like 1200. I just suffered with a slow start from game week 14 at 100k, and I didn't drop rank all the way through to game week 33 after that. And yeah, I just slow starts. I was never going to get close after them really slow starts. So, but yeah, impressive that James won team. Obviously, you're going to play a few more next year, aren't you?
I will. I'm going to come on to that bit later, Tony.
Yeah, no worries, mate. Right, what was your team then, Ben? Let's have a I mean, you've got some impressive stats going, so I'd like to hear from you, mate.
Well, yeah, I was on the Chelsea train like you. I had before the last game of the Premier. I think when Alisson scored, wasn't it? I jumped on Alisson because Mendy
Yeah,
got dropped for the FA Cup final. So I
yeah,
did have 3 Chelsea defenders at one point, and I was on the Chelsea train. So then I brought Alisson in, and he scored. But yeah, this week I got 15 points. Why are Chelsea getting a clean sheet against probably the best team in Europe and only getting 5 points? I just think they should at least get an 8. You know what I mean?
struggling to answer that one, mate.
Yeah. Oh, I just don't understand the ratings.
Yeah,
Yes, I got Azpilicueta 5 points, Chilwell 5 points, and Mahrez didn't get anything. Kevin De Bruyne didn't get anything. Mount got an assist, 5 points, and then I had one transfer left, and I was humming and ahhing what to do. I was humming and ahhing over what was it, Havertz. Either bringing another Chelsea defender in just to block it up a bit more, Rudiger,
yeah.
or go for a City player. And I think on the last pod, I predicted a Chelsea 1-0 win. But I didn't go with my prediction. I went,
I think you
Yeah,
did actually. Yeah.
yeah, I didn't go with
yeah,
my prediction. I went for Sterling. I thought, oh, he's got to do something at some point this season. Playing up front as well, so I thought I'll bang him in, see what happens, and blanked again.
yeah.
So
Hmm.
yeah, a bit of a damp squib that. But I somehow jumped above Fergie in our mini league and got second place. I don't know how I've done that.
I mean, it's impressive that because it
Yeah.
shows. I think what week did we start this league? I can't remember what game week
I
it
think we
was.
said game week 7.
So from game week 7 to the end, you was what, the second best team in country then?
You could say that, yeah.
It's
Yeah.
more or less, yeah, that's probably not far off right, that, which is an impressive doing.
Yeah.
Um,
In game week 7, I was 25.5K, and I finished 81st, and I got my top 100 finish, where I went what I aimed for. So that's
yeah,
good going, I think.
what you were doing for your blog, weren't it?
Yeah,
You aimed for a top 100 finish.
yeah.
It's
And I got
really, really impressive.
and I've got 2 teams in the top 100. Got another team that finished 19th. So I'm very happy with that.
Definitely. But top 5 paid.
Yeah, top 5. I'm sure they used to pay out top 100 before a few years ago.
They did used to pay out top
Yeah.
100.
Hmm.
Obviously, funds got dropped off a little bit this now, but
Yeah. Well, it used to be £1 million, didn't it? Payouts. And now it's only
yeah,
100K. Only.
yeah, true. Yeah,
If you win it, though,
only.
it's fantastic. Like,
Yeah,
unbelievable
definitely.
achievement by Fergie. I'm very
Yeah.
happy for him and his family.
Yeah, it's life changing. Young kids as well.
Yeah.
Sets them up, and there's a lot of things it does. So, yeah, happy for him. Well, obviously we've got the Dream Team Tonic League to settle because we couldn't settle this on Sunday.
Yeah.
Obviously, we have spoke to the winner, but we'll do a rundown. Obviously, the Dream Team Tonic Top 11, as now it's called. Whether that runs through to next season, I'm not too sure. But go on, I'll run through it as a final one. I'll go in position 11th. Got Tony's DT Tonic 11. Get in! Snuck on the bottom of the page there. I'm on there. In 10th, we've got Wiggy's Wanderers, Sam Winall. Well done, mate. 9th, Peter Brown, Hodor FC. 8th, Trent Enders, Mick Barham. 7th, Tom Brindley. Well, again, 2. Your arch nemesis, Ben. 6th, Dream Team Professor. Hey, I didn't spot that, James. Bit of needle there, isn't there? And in fifth above him, is Dodgy Sisters Athletic with James Fricker
Get in.
by 1 point.
I was hovering around. I was the lower reaches of the top 10 for a few months. To finally finish in fifth place, I'm very happy with that. With the calibre of the opposition in there, there's some top players in there. Yeah, I'm well chuffed with that.
Yeah, great position, mate. Fourth, the villains. Wayne Herbert, another of your nemesis. Is it, Ben?
No, not nemesis. Good mates, these lads are.
That's what they say. In third, the Dream Team champion, Andrew Ferguson. That shows how good of a league it is, isn't it? When the Dream Team champion's in third. Second, Ben Lee, Ben's DT Tonic 11.
Way!
And in first, the trophy winner. Well deserved. Leal, he snuck up there and he stayed up for there quite a while. The Smoking Guns, Leal at 1942. A 16-point win. So fair play to you, Lee. I know we've got your address. We'll get that trophy sent out to you. Obviously, next season, there'll be a cash prize going with that trophy. So you probably receive it with a cheque or a bank transfer, whichever you prefer, But yeah, fair play, mate. Well done. Thanks to everyone who joined the league because it is a good crack. If you haven't joined this year, get involved next year. Obviously, it'll be a cash league next year. But yeah, all part of the fun. All part of the bounty.
Get involved in the Euro Cash League we're running now for the championships.
Yeah, as well. It's a little bit of a practice run, isn't it?
Yeah.
Get there. Like, is Dream Team Professor in it? James isn't in it. They're saving the rivalry for the full league, are they?
I think
We'll see.
Scott says he's going to put a team in. The Professor.
He might have put one in. I'm not too sure. He might have snuck by me. I might have just been forgetful, but yeah. James is having the summer off. So you have to renew that rivalry next wait, it's August, middle of August, isn't it, when it kicks off?
Yeah.
But yeah, out of a great league. Good fun. I mean, I've asked Mrs. if she could spare us a few quid for postage. So we'll be all right, Ben.
Yeah, the trophy's at my house at the minute. I was hoping to keep it.
I know, mate. Should have saved a fortune, but yeah, we'll get it off to Leal as soon as possible. It'd be nice to have a picture, but if Lee, you don't want to show your face, we understand, mate. Just a picture on your mantelpiece would be good enough. Good enough so you could send that in for us. That'd be good. Right, listener questions. These are from last week, weren't they?
Saturday.
It's quite a while, isn't it? Since Saturday it was. So, listener questions. Fergie's Apprentice has been on. He's just asking about the lessons that we learnt, and he can't wait to listen to the podcast. So, lessons learned. It ties a little bit in with Flower Pot Man's question. He's asked about a lesson we've probably learnt this season that would take forward into next year's game. So I think that the answer on both are the same. Don't want to start being repetitive like my dad. We'll just go from there. So who wants to answer this first?
Don't mind. Yeah.
On James.
I'll go if you like. Well, first lesson in European finals can be tight affairs and may not be worth holding all your transfers for. I mean, we didn't touch upon the Man United game either.
Yeah.
That was 1-0, wasn't it, against United? So bear in mind that these Champions League finals
penalties, wasn't it?
Oh yes, of course it was. What am I thinking? De Gea missed his pen, didn't he?
Yeah. Should have asked Allison to take it.
No, in seriousness though, from my perspective, I think maybe I hedge my bets a little bit too much with my team. But then when you've only got one team, that's the way I've always played fantasy football. In most formats, you can't have a block Chelsea defence, for instance, because you're limited to the number of players that you have. So I think going forwards, I'll certainly be putting more teams in next year. which means that I won't be hedging my bets with my players as much. I can go, well, that's my Chelsea team, that's my Liverpool team,
Yeah.
block defences, key players, etc.
Brentford team.
Sorry, Ben.
Brentford team. Norwich team.
Well, possibly. You never know. Well, I always think I've been thinking about this, and maybe you do need a little wild card in there.
Yeah.
Look at Sheffield United season before last.
Yeah. And Pookie.
They flew out the blocks, didn't they?
Pookie got like 6 goals in 4 games 2 years ago, didn't he?
Exactly.
Yeah.
So I wouldn't rule out anything at this stage. I do think maybe the person that is willing to punt a little,
Yeah.
if you've got 10 teams, you can afford to have a couple of punty teams where you go for some of these differentials, and who knows, Pookie might score 5 in 5 this
Yeah.
season. Brentford might keep 5 clean sheets. You never know. So I won't be hedging my bets as much next year. I've also been thinking about. I was toying with talking about this earlier. I was thinking about my Mahrez nemesis, and so I said I wasn't going to bring him back in a third into the season. I did bring him back in. It was mixed results. I think I missed most of his hauls, and I've been analysing myself. Was that a mistake? Well, it's a tricky one to answer that, because if you look at Raheem Sterling.
Yeah.
There's a lot of really top players that kept Raheem Sterling all season. And
Yeah.
they were probably thinking he's going to bang at some
Yeah.
point,
Yep.
and he literally didn't at all, did he? What a disappointing season to him for Raheem.
Yeah.
So was that a mistake not bringing in Mahrez? Well, who knows? That's the thing about fantasy football: getting on, knowing when to get on a player, when to hold them, and when to drop
Yeah.
them. And I don't think you can beat yourself too much up. You've just got to go with that eye test and follow your gut.
Definitely. I think you're 100% right there, especially when you touch on the Mahrez thing and the Sterling thing. I think they're very good examples of, as we say, Fergie won by 13 points, which is a Havertz goal and star man.
Yeah.
So you put that in perspective. If you can hold a player, there's so many players holding Sterling. If he scores a brace and scores 18 points, he gets star man.
Yeah.
And that wins somebody the league. Have they won the league because of Sterling, or is that that's just sticking by somebody, isn't it? Waiting for someone to bang. You can't beat yourself up by staying loyal to a top player. Sterling can bang at any time. We know that, and obviously a lot of top players know that. A lot of top players might be kicking themselves, saying, "I should have got him out earlier and put somebody else in," but you don't know. You don't know until the final standings there at the end of the season. And it's easy just to say, like, these are my mistakes, but them mistakes could easily be something that bumps you up higher.
Yeah.
Again, it's gut feelings, reactions. I'm thinking, surely Sterling has to score at some point. Surely he does, because he weren't getting dropped, really, was he? He was still playing the games.
Most of the season, yeah, he was in there, wasn't he? Yeah.
Now, if they start dropping him and you're sticking by him, then that's silly, and that's a mistake. But if he's putting him out on the pitch, I tell you what, in that City side, does anybody could bang?
Yeah.
Yeah. And most of that City midfield did bang at some point, didn't it?
Yeah.
Look at Gundogan. I mean, he was on fire at one point.
Yeah, and there'll be a lot of people that maybe speak and say the mistake was I didn't get Gundogan in quick enough when he hit his bit of form.
Yeah.
But then again, hindsight, you don't know whether that bit of form is just a flash in the pan. It's just 1 or 2 games. You didn't know when they're going to lead to 8 games because it's not expected. It's so tricky. It's easy to sit now after the fact and say this was a mistake, that was a mistake, this is a mistake. But the lessons learned, I think what you touched on there, James, is probably right about like the way you're setting up your teams, the way you approach a season. Maybe you might have had regrets that way. Playing one team, I mean, ultimately you're 9 other chances off being able to hit the top few.
Yeah.
But yeah, what do you think, Ben?
Yeah, totally agree.
Regrets, obviously, you had a team right up there.
Yeah,
You got a team in 19th, so ultimately you're probably gonna have a few more players that you maybe regret holding or
yeah, like definitely Sterling. I had him at the start of the season,
yeah,
but yeah, I like. There was points where I had Mahrez and I jumped off him, and then I think he scored a hat trick against Burnley. If I just kept him for the whole season, just let him be my fourth midfielder or something like that, and just kept him in, let him tick over. Um, Another thing is because it was new playing with 5 transfers, I had to get used to that to start with as well.
yeah,
I should have attacked the months a bit more with my first few transfers. It's like instead of attack, because like when you got 3 transfers, you probably just think, oh, I've got no injuries. I'll just sit. I'll just sit on this. I've
yeah,
got a decent side. I'll just sit on it. But when you got 5 transfers, you can sort of go right. There's 2 transfers. Let's try and get the best 2 players you think that's going to score points this month. Get them in now
yeah,
instead of just sitting. That's my regret. First 4, I'll say 5 or 6 months, I didn't do that. At the end of the season, I started doing it, and you see me shot up the leaderboard with 2 of my
yeah,
teams. So yeah, that's probably one of my biggest regrets.
yeah. Again, I think that, like you say, regarding strategy,
Mm,
the regrets is probably in that. My biggest regrets is the slow start.
mm,
Slow start. I didn't set my teams up properly. Really did miss a trick from the off. And another one I was so guilty of, even like we started this pod. What game week did we all get together? Game week
7, I
7, game week
think.
14 or something. When
When we all did
we
it,
all got chatting. Yeah, I think it was about game week 14,
might have been.
maybe a little bit longer than that.
Yeah, I think it was a bit later than that, but yeah.
But um, I never took my own advice. I'd sit on here and I'd be spouting crap. I'd be saying to everybody, this is what you should do. I'd be studying fixtures and doing all of that, and then I'd be a bit more. What's the word when you? Basically, you're coming to the weekend. A game we're kicking off. Obviously, you see the lineups and stuff, and I've been a bit too.
Laxadaisy.
Cautious.
No, I was just doing something like that off the
All
cuff,
right.
and not
Thinking about it.
and not going. Yeah, not looking back to hold on.
Mm,
No, and planning it further. I was thinking, no, I need to sort this out now. I need to tidy this up now. I did it quite often. I did in quite a few of my teams. I were guilty of it, massively guilty of it. But it was only when I had a decent word with myself. Like I say about game week 14, I said, look, no, hold on. This is how we're playing it. Stop being silly. And I tidied myself up. But yeah, I don't know. It might have been the beer. I mean, if you get up beer early enough, do you know what I mean? We had a laugh. We did have a laugh about that then, that on one of the pods. And I said, well, I'd had a few beers, and you said, why? We're 12 o'clock kickoff.
Yeah.
Yeah, one of them. Really story that day, mate. But yeah, that they were my regrets. Just a bit of put the planning in, give the advice out, and then just don't follow it myself.
I had I had a couple of circumstances where I said on my blog I'm going to go for this certain player, and then the team sheets. You wait for the team sheets because there was
Yeah,
quite a few circumstances where you could get to see the team sheet before, so you could reverse the transfer or
yeah,
make a change. And I kept every time I was going to bring in a Chelsea defender or something, I kept saying I was going to bring in Rudiger, and every time I went to bring him in, I didn't because of the team sheet.
yeah,
And it did actually burn me a couple of times because even though they didn't start that game, of course they started subsequent games. Um, are we putting too much store in those early team sheets? I know maybe at the end, near the end of the season, you'd be foolish not to look at it. But over a longer period, if you've got a player in mind and you're sure that that player is one that you should be bringing in, um, I don't know. Maybe next season it won't be as bad because hopefully we won't have these. We won't be under this COVID situation, and
Yeah.
hopefully there won't be the games won't be quite as condensed as they were. What do you
Yeah,
think, guys? Bit less
on the
rotation next year.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah,
Yeah.
there's been a lot of rotation this year.
yeah,
Mm.
City, especially Chelsea. Uh, you just, I don't know. It's just they have been changing and chopping and changing all the time. It's a nightmare.
yeah,
I'm sure it
Yeah.
yeah.
used to be a lot easier.
Yeah, it did.
I think next year I think it will be easier for us. Um, I think, like you say, the chopping and changing surely will slow down. Will slow down. You won't have people trying to fit 3 fixtures into a 7 or 8 day
Yeah,
period as much, because obviously you still get it with the cup games and stuff like that. But ultimately, it was nearly. I mean, we were having a game every single day. There's been no respite for anybody.
Mm.
So yeah, it'd be nice to see a return to normality as regards to fixtures.
do you remember the
Mm.
League Cup was all squashed in at the beginning of the season as well?
Yeah,
Yeah, they were all like every
it,
week there was a League Cup round.
yeah. I think Rovers played 2 League Cup games before the even season
Yeah,
kicked off.
yeah,
It were, yeah, obviously because we're a lesser league side, Blackburn Rovers that is. But yeah, uh, hopefully, yeah, like I say, a bit more structured next year, which might ease the rotation.
Mm.
Um, but yeah, lessons learned, more strategic. Follow your gut. Follow. We again when you touch on the Rudiger thing is we probably block out so a block of fixtures, and you say somebody's got the best fixtures in that block, and then all of a sudden one of their players isn't playing in that block for the first game because of the team sheet, and next thing you know, rather than transferring Rudiger, you're transferring in, I don't know, Trent Trent Alexander, but he ain't the player that you're after. He isn't. You didn't want him,
Hmm.
but because of that team sheet, all of a sudden you're swayed, and
Yeah.
now you're not sat on a podcast chatting to like-minded people and stuff like that. All of a sudden you're at home with your own head, and you've had a couple of beers, and you're like, no, Trent will do all right in this game, and then like you say, Rudiger goes on to get 3 clean sheets running the games after,
yeah.
and Trent gets sent off, and
Yeah.
all of a sudden, what am I doing? Your planning goes out window.
Yeah. I think you've got to accept that rotation, haven't you? I mean,
Yeah.
what are you guys thinking about Chelsea next year, for instance? Tuchel seems to like to rotate a hell of a lot. Are you going to be starting the season with a strong Chelsea contingency?
At the moment, I probably
Contingent?
would. At the moment, I
Yeah.
will, but
Yeah,
obviously, it's going the picture changes every week, doesn't it? With the transfers,
yeah, yeah.
and obviously, you keep an eye on the pre-season friendlies. So, at the moment,
Mm,
I would pick a couple of Chelsea defenders, but we don't. And plus, you got to look at the fixtures as well. So,
Yeah.
yeah,
yeah,
yeah. That's true. Yeah,
Those upcoming fixtures, like initial fixtures, would be massive, won't
yeah.
they? Again, for me, I'm going to concentrate on those fixtures so much next year.
How does the Europa Conference work? Is that going to be included in the Dream Team next year?
Well, yeah, this was a bit of a touchy subject this year, weren't it? With the was it Spurs who was in
but that was the
the
qualifiers you were
qualifying
talking about, aren't
rounds?
you?
No,
Yeah.
but there's a new competition next year called the Europa Conference League. Tottenham have qualified for that through finishing seventh, and basically it's like a third tier European competition. Um, so Tottenham's in it, and then it's like loads of minnows. Seventh place in Spain, things like that. Arsenal's not in Europe this year,
Right.
though, are they?
No, no.
Not even in the Conference League.
No.
Right. Oh, well, it'll be interesting that to see what's included. If they include Europa League qualifying finals,
Yeah.
or whatever
The
it was at the
final
start of the
qualifying
season,
round.
which, yeah, another thing that I think burnt me, not having Harry Kane for that. I think he scored a hat-trick early doors, didn't he?
Yeah, I can't remember that far back.
In that, yeah, I think he scored a hat-trick in that final early doors. But the qualifying rounds weren't counted until the final
yeah.
round, or
Yeah.
some along those lines. Really missed it to me as well because, like I say, it's a while ago.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think he got a hat trick, and there were a little bit of an uproar about that. But yeah, it'd be interesting to see that new competition. That's new on me, that Ben. New information for me.
Only minnows though, like Tottenham.
I don't see why they wouldn't put it in.
Yeah.
I don't. I'm sure. I'm sure they will do. Yeah.
Ong Min Son all the way, then, isn't it?
Yeah, against Minsk.
Well, yeah, he could be leading the line on his own with no Kane.
Do you think he's going to go still?
Yeah,
If he wants
surely.
trophy, he's got to leave, hasn't he?
Yeah.
He's made for City, isn't he?
Yeah. Definitely.
City need a striker. Best striker in the world is on market, more or
Yeah.
less. Go and get him.
Be interesting.
Match made in heaven, that.
Be about 9 million in Dream Team then, won't it?
I'm just about to say 9 or 10 million easily.
I swear someone used to be 8 million. I think Cristiano Ronaldo was 8 million.
It's not
Probably.
surprising
Yeah.
when you score 40 goals, whatever it was. Right, we'll jump on to the next one. Ben,
Yeah.
this is for you a little bit because I'm not willing on Facebook. I think it's been about 10 years since I was last on Facebook. But Ian's asking, we have a Facebook page. How about setting up a Facebook group? We're setting up a WhatsApp group. I think we have touched on this. Obviously, the Facebook side for you.
Oh, I thought you froze there.
No, sorry. I keep doing this, mate.
No, yeah.
Hey, don't think my internet's not gone dicky yet tonight.
No, I thought you froze
So,
there.
I'm gonna start waving, making arm signals.
No, yeah, we've talked about it. We haven't decided what we're doing yet. Are we? If we're gonna dwell it, we might set up a forum or something on the
we're touching on a forum
on the website. Yeah,
forum, WhatsApp group, they're all in discussions, aren't they?
We're
trying to get it as interactive as we can. Obviously, it takes quite a bit of time to.
Yeah.
We answer a lot of messages on Twitter. We do. I think you know Ian. We message as much as we can. WhatsApp groups, forums, Facebook groups. They're all in discussions. Obviously, it comes down to time and other things, but we are looking into it, mate. So it's one to keep an eye on, as much as we can say, really. We're trying to make it as interactive as possible. Another one from Ian. He's got 3, so this is 2 of 3. In FPL, you can only have 3 players from any team. Wouldn't it be better if Dream Team did the same? Common argument. Do you know what? I argued, I think, earlier in the season that I thought, but then when we had Fergie on the pod, and he had he gave a really good explanation to it about how he'd worked around it, or how he'd worked his team, because I know he ended up with really heavy City.
Yeah.
And basically, the way he said it was, he had ended up 8 or 9 City players. If City go on a losing streak of 3 or 4 games, it's gone tits up for him. Complete tits up. And that's his risk. So people see it as like you're cornering the game, or you do whatever you like. People can't jump on that bandwagon, but I think it takes a lot of balls to put 8 or 9 players from one team into a team. It takes a bit of foresight. It can get a bit samey if everybody up the top does the same, and if City go on a winning run like they did, which is unheard of in Premier League history anyway. But if they went and did that, what do you reckon, James?
Well, actually, you know what? I keep changing my mind about this. Like
Yeah,
a bit like yourself. We've discussed this. Oh, I think this is probably about the third time we've discussed this one. Um, and I'm not sure there is one solution to this problem. It would be nice in a way if there was a slightly bigger player pool, um, and that would be potentially one way of limiting it to three. That might help, but then a lot of the other formats do three maximum of three players from each team, and it'd be boring if all of the formats were the same. So, I'm relatively happy with the way it is at the moment. You can make too many changes, and it'll end up being like FPL, but only with not as good an app.
Yeah, totally agree. When Fergie came on and argued the case for unlimited players from each team, I think he won me round, and I think it is
yeah,
better the way it is now. Like if you've got the guts to go and put 9 City players in, then you go and do it. Like, but if you, I just think it's better. It opens it up a bit more. You know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah.
I'm with you. Since he come on, he topped me round as well. I think I get it. I get why you'd want to max it, but I don't actually think it'll bring too many more players into the game on Dream Team because you probably end up with samey teams anyway. Um, I think the only way to bring a bigger pool of players in is if you add different points for, say, a defensive midfielder or
Yeah,
um, it's like you need to obviously bring in a bigger point pool for other players to accumulate points because ultimately at the end of the day in Dream Team you score points for being who scored Darling. So if you head as many balls as you can and you called Harry Maguire, if, if you called Harry Kane, it's a bit of a theme here, Harry. But yeah, no, it's obviously goals, assists, and clean sheets, and that is the
yeah.
game. Unless you bring in other point
I,
pools for other players, it's always going to be a little bit samey that
I know
way.
I'm going bit off here, but I think they should up the assist points to 3 at least as well, and
Yeah,
bring in
yeah,
clean sheet points for midfielders. That might give a bit more of a advantage for like your Cantes
Yeah,
getting extra points. You know what I mean?
yeah, definitely. I
Because they
completely
used to
agree.
get 2 points for a clean sheet, the midfielders, and then when they realised that assists is a thing, like about 3 years ago, they changed that completely. Just got rid of it and just said, right, assists is now the 2 point
Yeah,
points. I'd like to see that come back in.
I do. I genuinely think the assist, 2 points for an assist, really
Yeah,
stingy. I mean, look at Mason Mount's pass in the Champions League final, and he comes away with 5 points. It doesn't seem.
yeah,
And then there's been numerous occasions where I thought, you know what, that deserved more than 2 points. There's too big a gulf,
yeah,
isn't there, between
yeah,
the points for a goal scored
yeah,
and the points for an assist. I think bring it a bit closer. Just one extra point for the assist. I think that would be a good
yeah.
move.
And you
yeah,
could even
definitely.
maybe put an extra point for a goal, so then it's 6 points for a goal and 3 points for an
Mm,
assist. Then it's like half.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah, I'm in complete agreement with it. Um, I think that's all right. I think they struggle as well with who scored, and I joke about it about the headers. If you head most balls
Yeah,
in the game, then you star man. I mean, I think we touched on it about Chelsea defenders keep a clean sheet against the best team in Europe, and or one well, I say the second best team in Europe
Yeah.
because Chelsea won. But they keep a clean sheet against City, and Azpilicueta, Mendy, um, Rudiger, Chilwell. None of them get a seven rating. What's that
I
about?
know.
There's somewhat flawed in the rating system if that's happening.
Mm.
They've obviously done all right, haven't they?
Yeah.
I mean, if I were on pitch and we didn't concede, I'd be a little bit devastated that I didn't get a seven rating because I didn't head the ball as many times as Harry Maguire does.
Seems to be a lot of
Um,
fantasy games. The fans are complaining about the rating rules, points.
Hmm.
Same in FPL, same in Sky with the man of the match. They're complaining about that. Like, it's a bit controversial, the ratings.
I it's tricky because I remember back in the day, Dream Team used to go off a person rating
Reporter,
it
yeah.
out of the
Yeah.
newspaper, and there used to be a lot of complaints then because, well, is he fixing it for his own team?
Mm.
What games he
Yeah.
watching? All that stuff.
Yeah.
So I think that's probably why they switched it to a more stats based. But they need to tweak it. There's got to if they came out and said we're working on it and we're trying to tweak it so then headers aren't as pivotal to someone's rating or because as per Quetta, he's not going to win the most headers in the world, is he? But he could have been absolutely pivotal to that clean sheet. But he didn't head it as many times as Mon next door to him, Harry Maguire, who likes to head it, but he can't do much else. Yeah, it's tricky. It's tricky, but yeah, again, that's exactly why they came away from the human side, gone to the electronic side, and still the same issues, isn't there? But we're all playing under the same thing, aren't we? There's a lot of people that had Chelsea defenders and never got the seven plus
Yeah.
ratings. Ian's third question isn't a question actually, but we'll definitely read this out. Uh, just like to say a quick thank you, guys, for helping win his mini league, especially DT Tony.
Hey, hang on
Hey,
a second.
so, so
Well done,
ni-
Tony.
nice one, Ian. Obviously, we've chatted a lot, and happy that you won your mini league, mate. Well done,
5% for Tony.
fair play.
5% for Tony.
I'll say we get a percentage, but yeah, no, good stuff. That's the was it Ben who got the solo call out not long ago?
Yeah.
Right, James, we have to get you sorted, mate. We your own little personal fan. But yeah, cheers, Ian. Good stuff, mate. Amon Tattler's been on. Question 1. Love it. Having disappointed up front, should Manny and Sterling go back to midfield next season? Go on, James.
Well, you could argue that the balance in Dream Team did seem a bit off this year because there seemed to be a lack of midfield options and not enough striker spots. But last year it felt like it was the other way round. So um, I don't know. It's a tricky one. It certainly makes it more of a challenge. I mean, there were um, until the likes of Gundogan and Mount came to light. It did feel that there was a lack of heavy hitters in midfield this year.
Yeah.
I wouldn't be adverse to them going back into midfield personally. There were some striking options that would have been, I mean, the likes of Dominic Calvert-Lewin, for instance,
Mm.
and various other strikers. You know, there were times when I thought, well, I'm not going to drop Kane, I'm not going to drop Salah. So I was only playing with one spot up front,
Yeah.
um, and I did feel that there were lots of potential other options
Mm.
in the striker slots. So personally, I wouldn't be upset if Manny and Sterling went back into midfield. What do you think, Ben?
Yeah. Have you noticed? I've been playing around with the Euro teams. Sterling's a midfielder again in that.
Ah,
Yeah.
Hmm,
okay.
So
that's interesting.
maybe we'll be
Mm.
going back to midfield. But yeah. I don't know because I like it. I think because it's not narrows it down, but like makes it harder to pick three strikers. You know what I mean? Three forwards, I just say. Because you can't have Mane. You probably wouldn't have Mane and Salah unless, like you did for the last few games, Tony. You jumped on
Yeah,
the Liverpool fixtures.
yeah, just trying to maximise.
Yeah, but I think last season it was pretty template the midfield. I'm sure I had De Bruyne, Fernandes, Mane, and Sterling. That was my four,
Yeah,
Yeah.
and you weren't going to take any of them out.
Mm.
So
yeah,
I can understand why they pushed him as a forward because Salah's a forward on the game, so Mane surely is a forward, and Sterling plays in that
Yeah.
position. So I think they're trying to say like now that if you play any attacking third, so if you're attacking left-sided forward or
yeah.
right-sided forward, you're classed as a striker on the game now or a forward.
Mm.
So yeah,
I mean, do you not think they've both been shite enough to not even care where they play because they won't be getting in any team?
well, yeah, exactly.
I mean, they've both been absolutely shocking. Like, I mean, Mane probably not as much, but Sterling's been shocking all season.
Mm.
Um, Mane were a surprise to me this year because he's so good.
Yeah,
Sterling, you could tell, yeah, he's probably a bit of a confidence player, but Mane is regularly dangerous. He's regularly in the right position.
yeah. Mane's got 10-star mans. Uh, he's second highest uh, star mans in the game. But it's so strange because Salah has scored loads of goals. He's the third highest point scorer in the game, but he hardly got any star mans. So I don't know how they work it out.
Be interesting to see what Mane's ownership percentage did throughout the season
Mm,
because, like you say, it's a little bit more difficult being a striker and taking up that striking spot.
yeah,
Did he manage to hold a high percentage through the season?
mm.
Because his performances weren't obviously you're telling me 10-star mans, and but did anyone ever see that? Do you know what I
You
mean? Watching the
best
games
asking
and
James. He watches the Liverpool games.
So Mane started the season okay, and then it was a massive drop off for me. And even Mane came out and said before 2 games before the end of the season that he'd had a poor season and he didn't know why. Um, then he got put on the bench.
Mm,
And then
yeah,
I tell you what, when he came off that bench, he looked like a man on fire. And in that last game, he was, in my opinion, man of the match. And don't forget the fans were back as well. So I think Mane next year will be back on form. I think certain players like playing in front of the fans more than others.
yeah.
Um,
yeah,
he'll raise his game once he gets back at Anfield and he hears those cheers.
Do you remember? Do you
yeah,
remember at the start of the season, everyone was debating who's better, Mane or Salah? Do you remember that in FPL? I think it was because you could. They're
Hmm.
both midfielders. A lot of people were debating. I think they're the same price, 12 million. They're both
Um,
debating over.
Mane was um, Mane was a million
Oh,
cheaper,
right, yeah,
but Salah had penalties, so
yeah,
it was like which one's going to come out top based on that £1 million
yeah.
difference. For me, it was never in question. I think Salah he's greedier and he's on pens.
yeah, yeah. Man is a lot more unselfish, but I, I, I get what Ben's saying about the template in midfield. It was Mane, Sterling, De Bruyne, Fernandes. That's it. That's your midfield setup if they both drop back. Whereas this season it made it more difficult um, throwing them two up the top because especially if one of them starts to bang.
Yeah.
If Manny or Sterling started to bang, then all of a sudden you're like, oh shit, who am I putting in up top now in my striking positions because he had
Hmm.
more
Do you not think they've just moved the
problem up top.
yeah, because
Yeah,
like I said earlier, you've just got everyone in their right mind would have Kane, and you probably have Salah.
yeah,
And then it would be one of somebody like, I mean, Rashford was probably the most popular third choice. Jota at some points of the season, maybe a Son or someone like that. But there wasn't a huge amount of variance in those front threes, was there? So I
No,
think you could say the templates moved from midfield to the front three last season.
yeah, 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 because obviously the midfield varied a little bit, and yeah,
We need a 3 3
it's
4 formation.
yeah,
It would be
it's
nice if
tricky.
they did allow a bit more
That's a
flexibility
good
in the
point.
formations.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Yeah,
There are some key ones missing there.
Yeah. 3-5-2 would
yeah,
be good, wouldn't
definitely.
it? At
Mm,
least.
Yeah,
yeah, it
you should
would.
have the option of that, definitely.
I-
Right, on to the next question from Haman Tatler. Should 5 transfers a month continue, or should it go back to 3? Go on, Ben.
I don't know. At the start of the season, I was in. I mean, half through the season, I was enjoying having up 5 transfers, but it's very how do you say? What's the word? High maintenance. Very high maintenance, isn't it? With 5 transfers, you constantly look, and with all the games being on different times, was really hard. Usually, the last few seasons, at the game you have all the games at 3 o'clock, don't you? You have an early game at 12:30, maybe a 5:30 game,
Mm.
and then a few games on a Sunday and on a Monday. But it's been like 12:30, 3 o'clock, 5:30, 8:30, then 12, 2, 4, 6 on a Sunday, 2 games on a Monday. It's been
Yeah.
really hard work. But like when you've only got 3 transfers, I feel like I was saying before, you tend to sit more on your transfers until you get an injury. So
Yeah.
that's probably I find it a bit harder with 5 transfers, but you just got to get used to it, I suppose.
Go on, James.
Yeah, it's a tricky one. That I mean, with 3 transfers, um, I always look at it as almost like having 2 transfers
Yeah.
because you're always going to keep one back.
Mm.
So
Yeah.
you look at the fixtures for the month ahead. You're probably going to make 2 transfers early-ish in that month, unless you're totally happy with your team, and you save one for an
Yeah.
injury or a suspension. Um, I think you're much less likely to make a punt or go for that player that you think might bang. When you've only got 3 transfers, you have to play a lot more cautious because you can't get yourself back out of trouble. I mean, with 5, if you bring in a couple of stinkers, you can get rid of them fairly quickly.
Yeah.
Um, it, I quite like it. Does actually increase the engagement
Yeah.
in the game because if you've only got one left and you're waiting for a transfer, you kind of set your team up at the beginning of the month and then you're done.
Yeah.
With 5, you're always looking for that little opportunity with the extra fixture here or there, looking at team
Yeah.
sheets. It does increase the engagement. I would like to stick with 5 now on with hindsight, although certainly have to be very
Hey,
disciplined if you've only got 3.
James, wait till you have 10 teams, then you won't be saying that.
Oh right, yeah, that's a good point actually.
Well, it's gone up. It's gone
Well,
up from 30 transfers a season to 50, hasn't it? So it's nearly doubled.
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah, that is true. I hadn't thought about that.
Plus, playing all of the other formats as well is hard work.
Mm.
So do you guys want the good news then?
What?
Well, so I've had it on good authority that next season in Dream Team, because there were a little bit of rumours that the prize money might drop or like it might struggle next year's Dream Team. But so Dream Team will have a 75 grand prize money for the winner again next year, which is
Cool.
obviously
Good.
good.
That's
So
good.
that's what we'll be aiming at. And as well, we'll also have 5 transfers a month. It will be staying. So, Ben, get that pen and paper out, mate, because
Yeah.
there's a lot more planning
I'll,
to be
I'll be
done
ready
again.
this time. I'll be ready.
Well, it is good. It's good for our listeners just to hear that.
Yeah.
Yeah, that is the way when we're going to be planning towards our pods, early doors, and our pre-season stuff. We are planning towards 5 transfers a month because, like you say, it impacts it because you'll be setting a team up not to move very much.
Yeah.
Mm.
You can't attack fixtures as much as maybe what you'd like. Would you put 8 City players in a team that when you can only move one or two
Mm.
if they hit a bad run or they hit a bad patch of fixtures. And that's courtesy of Dan Cox, who's let us know that information early, which is fair play to him. Nice one, Dan.
Cheers,
Cheers for
Dan.
that, mate. But yeah, it allows us to plan better going forward with our pods and other stuff. But yeah, we are 5 transfers. So sorry, I'm mate, but it's not going back to 3. Sorry, Ben. Sorry, James, for when you put your 10 teams in there. But yeah, all good. I like you say, there's a bit more leeway with it, and it keeps the interactivity go. Like we could, with 3 transfers, we could probably run out of things to talk about mid-month, especially when people are holding on. You hold on to one transfer in case of an injury for a big player. You've got 2 transfers, and like you say, you're probably making them pretty early in a month to attack a couple of fixtures. So 5 transfers, happy days. Our pod rolls. Otherwise, we'd have been probably trimming it down to once every 2 weeks or once every 3 weeks. So all good in that sense. So there's you a little bit of insider information for the season ahead. So differential league. I'm not gonna lie, Ben, you absolutely walked it in there, mate.
Get in.
There's I've not got some official points scoring. I've just got Ben wins.
I've got the points up here. Don't worry, boys. 207 points for Ben. Is that updated, actually?
There was no updating to be done.
The community came second with James, 154 points. And Tony came 145 points. Just behind.
I thought we were going to disqualify Ben for not making a pick in the final game.
Oh, I forgot as well.
Do you know what? I just think it was complete arrogance. Basically, he said, "You two can pick a player. I'm not playing one in the last one."
Try and get 50 points back. Yeah.
Well, yeah, fair play.
Well done, Ben.
There's some
Community will be back next year.
That's it. We will run it again next
We
year.
might have to have a 4-way next year.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We'll have the community have their own. James, you'll be on your own next year.
Yeah, could do that. Yeah.
But yeah, that was good fun. Good fun. And fair play, Ben. Really good win.
Do we get anything for it?
Right. Well, no, mate. You could have had a trophy, but Lee Allen won. Right. So, the website, the DT Euros tournament, got to plug this. £5 per team, 2 teams max, because we don't want it flooding with more than 2 teams per manager. We want to give everyone a bit of a chance. £5 per team, cheap entry, open it up to everybody. Because obviously, some people don't like to gamble too much, but deadline's Friday 11th of June with kick-off with the Italian and Turkey game. The prize pot, obviously, to be confirmed. Hopefully, we get enough. Then we might do a group winner. What do you guys reckon? Group stage winner midway, break it up.
Sounds like a good plan.
Sounds like a good idea.
It just gives something to chase for straight off. Maybe end up with a couple of different winners. Obviously, the more people winning, the merrier.
Yeah.
There's obviously a trophy for the overall winner who finishes first. The split, we're going to try and split it between a few people at the top, first, second, third. Bigger pot, third, second, third, fourth, fifth, maybe. Depends how big the pot is.
Yeah.
We want to keep it as a decent pot to win, ultimately. Don't want to filter it down too much to the fourth and fifth losers. But that's how it is. PayPal, pay by PayPal website, which is the easiest way. You'll get emailed the league code straight off the bat. Or you can do backs. And if you do a backs transfer, I'll probably hunt you out when it lands. Or if you can just give us a tweet at Dream Team Tonic or message me, emails on the website. Email will be below. Get in touch. Just let us know you've paid. I'll confirm it and I'll just send the code across to you. Any questions on the rules, the way it works, just give us a message. We're happy to talk about it. I'm hoping, Ben, if you're up for it. I know James obviously is sitting out the Euros. if Ben's up for it, we might do a little bit of a chat on the rules, do a little video just regarding how it works. Because there's been a lot of confusion regarding the transfers, the game days, because we play a dream team, you're used to everybody being locked in.
Yeah.
But I think it obviously it's per game day, so we could have a chat through that just to clear a few things up for people going forward. Obviously, help you out. We're also me and Ben are gonna be jumping across onto the fan team Euro 2020. Don't know if you've seen this game yet, but we will leave a link in the description, and we're also plugging it on Twitter. The fan team Euro 2020 £1 million league. It's a 1 million prize pool. I think the top 10,000 people finishing will receive a payout more than what your entrance fee of 20. Is it €20, £20?
£20, I think.
£20 entry. You'll receive more than that. The top 10,000. So it's a good it's a good thing to get involved in. Obviously, a chance to win £200,000 first place. We're going to be doing a few podcasts regarding players that we fancy, differentials, and we'll probably do a team reveal as well for ourselves. So we're going to plug that going further forward. So there'll be quite a lot of content coming out in the lead up to the Euros. During the Euros, we're not 100% certain what we're going to be doing during that. We might come out and put some out there, but we're not promising. Obviously, next season we're going to have a big cash league, like we've done this year with a Dream Team Tonic through the site. We're going to run a Dream Team Tonic league between me, Ben, and James. All three of us put our brains together, and we're going to go for that 75 grand cash, 25 grand a piece. It'd be nice. So we're going to try and put our brains together and win that league. And other than that, I think have I covered everything, lads? Is there I've missed?
We'll also be doing mini leagues in Sky, FPL, and fan team for next season.
Yeah, we're going to run a Sky League.
Yeah.
James, FPL man, top FPL player. You're going to be running an FPL league for us, aren't you, mate?
I am. Yeah, I'll be sorting that out after the game launches.
Yeah, nearest at time. So all the info will be out about that. The Sky League, obviously, the cash leagues run themselves through the Sky, but we will be putting some out there. Regards to a community team, we're still trying to get that sorted. So hopefully there will be something as regards to that through a poll and through people that sign up. And we'll run a community team in the Dream Team and possibly the Sky League as well. So yeah, lots to look forward to. Honestly, thanks so much everyone for listening. It's been quite a good few months, like 6-7 months since we started, up to nearly 500 subscribers on YouTube. If you've not subscribed yet, hit that subscribe, get us to 500. Over 1,000 subscribers on Twitter, which is massive, really massive from where we came from. We're only looking to build bigger and take all of you along with us as well. Like we have a great camaraderie with a lot of people. Don't be frightened of just dropping us a message with your teams and any questions. We're always open. Whether you get an answer that day or that hour, it can vary. Obviously, we've all got busy lives and stuff like that. But yeah, we endeavour to do our best for you. So a lot of people, I think, have won the mini leagues on the back of the information we've given out, and it's good to hear. It's good to hear when you get messages saying, "Oh, someone's won quite a hell of a lot of cash," and they're taking their family on holiday. I mean, them messages are music to our ears. So hopefully you're the next one going into this Dream Team Euros and into next season.
Yeah.
So thanks very much.
I just want to say thank you to everyone as well. Thanks for listening to the pod and interacting with us. It's been a brilliant season, and hopefully another even better one next year.
Yeah, I would reiterate that. Fantastic community we've got going on Twitter. We all really appreciate all the support you give us. All those likes and retweets and kind comments really do make it worthwhile for us. Thanks, guys.
Yep. Cheers, everyone. And we'll see you next season.
Cheers.
Cheers. Good
Cheers.
night.